Okay, so everybody, welcome again to our third session of the Canadian Spectrum. Welcome you all again. And as you know, this is a free, completely free discussion group with people with free minds and hearts, ready to discuss things and disagree, but with full respect to the other side. Today we'll be talking about, in my opinion, the topic of life. It is the topic that affects every single thing in life, whether we like it or not. It's in every tiny aspect of life, and it's really affecting the world today, yesterday, and hopefully we'll see what will happen tomorrow. Hopefully we'll see what will happen tomorrow.
We started.
But what is happening right now is that religion is a major factor that really affects people's lives. So in the world we have a big variety of religions. We have Hinduism, Judaism, Confucianism, Buddhism, Taoism, Zoroastrianism, Sikhism, Shinto, Christianity, Islam, Chinese folk religion. And this is just a sample of all the beliefs in the world. There are like thousands and thousands of them. But these might be the most prominent ones in terms of number of followers. But there are many, many, many other. And of course, within each one of these, there are groups and subgroups, and many denominations and many sects inside each one of these. Now, it's a little bit important here to know that we have percentages of believers of different religions. And so we have Christians, 33.32%, or like 33%, about the third of humans. So 1 out of every 3 is a Christian. But of course, within Christianity, there are denominations like Catholicism, like Anglicanism, Protestants, they're the Orthodox, and these are only the major parts of Christian denominations. Christian denominations are more than 350. Yeah, more than 350. Some of them have minor differences, some of them have major differences, including the nature of God and the nature of Christ. Some of them completely disagree, and some of them will not consider one another to be Christian at all. Okay, so this is the people who consider themselves to be Christians, but are not necessarily accepted by others to be Christian. Next religion are Muslims, so 21%, about 5th. So 1 of every 5 people is a Muslim. Again, within Islam, there are many, many other subsets. So we have the Sunni Muslims, we have the Shiite Muslims, we have the Ismaili Muslims, we have many, you have, like other sects as well about Islam are very controversial. Like, the Ismaili sect, or the Ahmadi sect, or the Bahara sect. Some people would consider the Ahmadis, for example, to be non-Muslims at all, etc., etc. There are a lot of cross-accusations between Sunnis and Shiites, a lot of cross-accusations. Then we have the Hindus. Hindus are not exactly all the same, specifically. They would believe generally in some major people like Krishna. Krishna is very similar to the idea of Christ in Christianity. Krishna is personification, or he is an avatar of God. So like God came inside the living body of Krishna. So he is an incarnate of God, like God was incarnated inside the body of Krishna. But Hindus have lots of gods and goddesses, lots of them, hundreds and hundreds of them. They don't all agree upon the number of gods and goddesses. So you have many Hindus who believe in specific gods and goddesses, the others will not necessarily follow, and so on. Then we also have the Buddhists. Buddhists as well, they have, some people are very devout, some people are not. Many people believe that Buddhists worship Buddha, which is not true. Or that Buddhists consider Buddha to be a prophet, not true again. For Buddhists, Buddha is not a prophet and is not a god. He is a guide, or like the supreme guru, the supreme religious guide to them. Then we have other religions, and we have non-religious people. For Christians, for Muslims, and for Jewish people, mainly the Abrahamic religions, the 4 Abrahamic religions, Christianity, Islam, Judaism, and what is the 4th one? Anybody remember? The Sabbaites. Sabbaites. Sabbaites is the 4th Abrahamic religion. They're the ones who follow John the Baptist, or John, whatever you want to call him. They're the people who follow him. Those religions believe in an afterlife. So there's life after death, and once you die, you will be judged according to your deeds on this planet Earth. Are they good? Are they bad? And there is, specifically in Christianity and Islam, there is heaven and there's hell. In Judaism, it's not that clearly portrayed. For Hindus and Buddhists, it's a little bit different. You have karma and nirvana. For those people, there is a continuous cycle, non-stop cycle. So I'm born today in a body of a man. Tomorrow, if I'm doing a good deed, then I can be elevated or exalted. If I'm doing a bad deed, I can be reborn again in a lower figure. I can be born again in a lower figure. So actually, that's why they would consider cows to be sacred. They don't worship cows. This is a very wrong misconception as well. They don't worship cows. But they consider cows to be sacred because it might embody the life of a previous human, and so on. And your target is mainly to reach what is called nirvana. Nirvana is when you unite. You become at one. You unite completely with the Creator. And then this is the ultimate thing. Okay, and then we have non-religious people, or what some people might call atheists, but they're not necessarily atheists. And here comes, this is a very important thing as well, to just know where we're going. So basically, people are divided into 4 basic groups. We have atheist people, people who do not believe in a God. We have theist people, people who believe in a God. Then we have Gnostic people. So Gnostic comes from the word gnosis. Gnosis means to know, knowledge. Gnostic people are people who have the knowledge, who have firm, strong knowledge about their belief. And agnostic people are not sure. I believe in something, but I'm not sure. So if you can have a combination of these, so have a Gnostic atheist. Gnostic atheist, I know for sure there is no God. Final. You can have a Gnostic theist. I know 100% there is a God. End of story. But on the other side, you have an agnostic atheist. I most probably think there is no God, but I'm not sure. Sometimes I feel there is a God. Sometimes. And you have an agnostic theist. So probably I believe there is a God. Most of the time I believe there is a God, but sometimes I feel there's no God. I'm not sure about, the existence of a God. Okay, now we come to the important question here. Now, over the ages, religion has been accused of this: dividing the world, splitting the world. Not into only 2 halves, but in quarters, eighths, tenths, you name it, just dividing people, division, continuous division of people. Religion has always been accused of that, because of several reasons, of course. So, one of the first reasons is that religion has a lot of times been associated with racism. A lot of the times, religion has been associated with racism. Religion has been used to do a lot of racist behaviors by all different religions. So you would exclude some people. You would do some kind of discrimination or segregation in places of worship even. So two believers of the same religion but have a different color of skin cannot go to the same place of worship at all. Because it is believed that God has a specific image and a specific color of skin. So if you have a different color of skin than that of God, then you're damned. You're not in a good place. And this was very, very, very active around the world until the 1960s. Very, very clear. So, segregation according to religion, between people according to race. So racism has always been there, associated with religion. It has always been part and parcel of that. Again, religion always had a big problem with science. Throughout the ages, many scientists were persecuted and prosecuted, oppressed because of religion. They would come up with an idea, but religious people would tell them, no, this is contrary to the book. The book doesn't say that. But he tells them, with all the respect to the book, this is what I can see with my eyes. This is what I did in the lab experiment. Come on. You know, like, this is an ancient book. But what I'm telling you are experiments that I did in the lab or I saw with my own eyes. You can come and check, see for yourself. But no, we're not interested. Even if we see it with our eyes, we will not believe it. You're doing magic, you're tricking us. No, it's not true. It can never be true. If it's against the book, then it's wrong. And many religious people, many took scientists, major scientists, killed them, burned them, put them in solitary confinement, means that they would be staying alone in their house forever, not allowed to leave the house until they die. Just because they dared to say a scientific fact that was contrary to religion. Many of those scientists I'm talking about are people that we hail today and consider like masters and great scientists. Galileo, for example, like just to give an example. He was persecuted to an extreme extent because he said something contrary to the understanding of the book according to the men of religion at the time. Okay, so religion as well has been accused very much to cause backwardness and retardation throughout the time. So this is a picture of Europe and the Middle East. 1,000 years difference. In 1018 and in 2018. In 1018, Europe was too busy with religion, completely controlled by the church, completely controlled. Middle East was doing science. And please, what I'm saying are facts. If you have any objection to it, you're more than welcome, but give me a fact contrary to what I'm saying. It is a fact. If you don't know it, then please check your information, that during that time, the Middle East was ages ahead of Europe. Ages ahead of Europe. Europe was so backward, extremely backward compared to the Middle East. It might be very hard to imagine today with the current status of the Middle East, but this is a fact. Any highly educated person in the world knows that this is a fact. It's not a matter of negotiation. It is an established fact. They were leading by ages compared to Europe. Europe was so much behind because science was considered forbidden, not liked by God. Science was put aside, control of church. If you oppose the church, you're crushed, you're crucified, you're burnt alive on the stake. We just go to the church, pray, that's it, no more. Well, as time passed by, it was the other way around. Now, busy doing science, most of Europe, with the exception of Eastern Europe, still busy with religion. Still very busy with religion. Not all of Eastern Europe, but Central Eastern Europe. And Middle East is too busy with religion. And of course, the difference in science and advancement is huge again. So religion is considered a major source of bringing people backward. Gay people. There has always been gay people since the beginning of time. Gays, lesbians, all kinds of homosexuals, transgender, bisexual, etc., cross-dressers. All these kinds of people have been, existent since the beginning of time. The word gay on itself will bring expressions on people's faces right away. Right away. Conservative religious people, once they hear the word gay, oh, gay. Right away. Gay or lesbian brings an expression on the face. And religion is considered to be completely against those people. Those people should be just eliminated off the face of earth. And the reference that's usually given to that is the story of Sodom and Gomorrah. The story of Sodom and Gomorrah with the prophet Lot is a very famous story found in both the Old Testament and the Quran. People who were homosexuals, and those people received great punishment from the heavens, and they were just completely destroyed. So this should be the destiny of any gay at any time. Death, complete death. They should not exist anymore. Okay. Religion, again, of course, brings a lot of separation between people and a lot of, not very, nice situations according to people. So religion would prohibit alcoholic beverages. Religion can also prohibit eating some kinds of birds, like swans and owls. Religion can prohibit the eating of swine or pork, hare or rabbit meat. It can prevent the eating of meat on its own or meat combined with milk, and prevents the eating of some kinds of fish like catfish or shellfish like lobster, crab, and shrimps, for example. Prevents that. So I'm inviting you to my house. I'm being very generous to you. I want to be very friendly to you. I prepare my favorite dish to you, and I present it to you, and just push it back with disdain and disgust. I don't eat this garbage. How can you eat this garbage? So it's always there, and the other way around. People get offended when you're offered something that is not acceptable by your book, or the other way around again. If you're not a believer, you get offended too by people not accepting your hospitality. Instead of telling you thank you, they just give you a long frown and no, I don't need that. It's not according to my book. Okay, religion again talks about dress. There's dress again. So some are similar, some are different. So like here we have a picture of an Orthodox Jew a Catholic nun, an Orthodox Christian nun, and a conservative Muslim woman in the view of the public. This is how the public would define people. This is how the public would define people. And, but again, of course, the difference here is just, there is a simple difference here. This is an Orthodox Jew, this is a Catholic nun, this is a Christian nun. So this is a nun, a person who completely dedicated her life for the service of God. Considered by many other people to be an extreme thing. This is an extreme thing. Why would you just, like, can't you serve God and be a mother too? Can't you serve God and be a wife too? Why do you have to be like in solitary confinement, just secluded from everyone to serve God? And because of this, she has this kind of clothes. But a regular Christian woman is not required to wear such clothes. She just needs to cover her head in church during prayer time. This is the general belief, okay? But of course there are many other different points of view. Some are more extreme, some are more liberal. Since the 1970s, specifically like towards the end of the 1970s, this has been considered the acceptable attire for a Muslim woman, according to the majority of Muslim scholars. Before the 1970s it was different, but anyways, as of the 1970s, this is the acceptable clothes for a Muslim woman, period. Whether she is like conservative and unconservative, anything else is considered to be out of bounds. Of course, there are many other different opinions to that, certainly. And even before, the same people who are fighting for that today, before the end of 1970s, most of the women who wear this attire today, their mothers or grandmothers didn't wear that. Okay, but anyways, this is considered to be the proper Muslim attire for women, which creates separation, of course, which parts of someone who's not covered, then she's out of bounds. She's an easy woman. If somebody's not covered, she's not a respectable woman, she's an easy woman. And the other side considered this as a backward, retarded woman as well. Why is she all covered up? Very negative feelings from both sides. And then we come to the big thing here. My religion, by your religion equals war. My way or your way. We cannot combine both. It's my religion or your religion. Together, no. Not possible. Because there is only one truth. And I have the truth. I don't have a truth, no, I have the truth, the one and only truth. And your job is to follow that. On this cartoon, of course, like war and religion are in a very romantic relationship. And war is telling religion, oh, sigh, where would I be without you? Without you I would not exist. You are my best buddy or my best friend, you're my soulmate. Like without you I cannot exist. So if like war really loves religion, religion loves war, they serve one another. Now, on the other side, moving to the other side, people would argue, no, there's not a problem with religion itself, actually, because God loves the sinner, but hates the sin. God doesn't hate people, just can hate the deeds of people, but not the people. So he can hate the deeds of people, but will always love the people. This is an argument by many religious people. Now we come to the other very important part, which is, who is the real God? Is it the God in the heavens, or is it the people? Who do religious people really care about in reality? If they're not being hypocrites or acting, if they're being honest with themselves, who do religious people really care about? Are they doing what they're doing because they want to please God, or because they want to please the society and they want to be applauded, considered to be good by society, or they're afraid of punishment by the society? Who is their real God? Would they do the same thing if they were not seen by other people? Would they do the same actions, wear the same clothes, eat the same food, do everything if they were not seen by the people? What things do they care about the most? The forbidden things that people can see, or the forbidden things that you can feel inside your heart? What do they care more about? Clothes, because people can see it. Kind of food, because people can see it. Prayer, because people can see it. Or do they care more about being honest, being faithful, being hardworking, being diligent, being accurate? Who is your real judge? Who is your real God? Is it the God, the super God, or is it the millions of mini gods you have around you? Those ones that you make 100% attention to and fear from and care about very much. This is a very beautiful saying by Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King was one of the very great leaders who fought for the liberation of African Americans. Until the 1960s, the African Americans suffered from a lot of discrimination. African Americans were not allowed to go to the same schools, ride the same buses, go to the same washrooms, or even go to the same church as white people. And a very big part of that was religious, because it is said that God is white. Because when God came on earth, he chose to be in the body of a white, blonde man. And was Jesus Christ actually really blonde and white? Huge question mark. So he said this word here: darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. So when